Hello and welcome to this episode of the Corporate Escapist TV show. I'm your host, Christine Innes, and I'm actually coming here because I want to talk about something that is really true to how I changed my life and has to do with three things: beliefs, reality, and just a little bit of guts. That's right. So, my whole entire belief system 5 years, well, actually 6 years ago now, was all turned upside down. I believed that you had to work really hard, you had to stay in a job, work your way up that corporate ladder. And when you finally got there and you hit retirement, that is when you got to have some fun. Now, if a lot of you have been following me, you'll know my story. So 6 years ago, I hit rock bottom. I was broke, I was broken, I was in a toxic and unfixable marriage. I literally had to file for bankruptcy and I ended up sleeping on my parents' couch. So, what had to change to do it? Well, the big thing is my belief system. So, I actually had to call BS on these belief systems and actually change the way that I wanted to change my life. So, all of my belief systems had to change. And one of the biggest things was the fact is that I don't have to live up to other people's expectations. Now, that was a really hard thing for me to do because I am a people pleaser. Now, the thing is that a lot of the times what happens in the society that we live in at the moment is that we want everything to be picture perfect. So 6 years ago, everything did look perfect on the outside. Everyone thought, okay, well, she's got the marriage, she's got the family, she's got the career, she goes on the holiday, she has the house, she has the car, she wears the designer clothes, she has the designer handbags. But I wasn't happy. It all was a lie. The only thing that really matters is how we feel. And a lot of the times we never actually ask ourselves. So, one of the belief systems that I want everyone to actually really start and ask yourself today is, what do you want out of your life? It's not what other people want, it's not what other people perceive, it's what you want out of your life. And what I realized is that belief system really came down to what my values were, what I actually stood for, what I believed in. And I wrote a post a little while ago, which is I talked about how it was really hard for me to make decisions. And the reason being is that I had nothing that I stood for. So my belief systems were following what everybody else was because I stood for nothing. So I changed my belief systems, and the biggest thing I did that is by changing my own values. And I live and breathe my values. If you want to know how or what values are, jump over to the Corporate Escapers website and take our core value quiz, and we'll give you an insight on that. And we're actually going to be doing a lot more around core values because I really believe that they are the solid foundations for you to change your life. And so my top three core values are authenticity. And that is one of my biggest things, is because on this journey that I've gone through over the last 6 years, I've actually learned who I was and who I want to be, and the woman that I am actually evolving to be every single day. And I have to show up authentically. I have to show up and be vulnerable in all of those times that make me feel really uncomfortable. And by doing that, I allow so much more into my life. The other thing is trust. And it has to be a mutual thing. So for me, I have to trust within myself. So trust my own internal guidance system that I have. I have to trust other people and actually trust, the decisions that I'm making as well. And one of the other big things is kindness. And for me, kindness has to start with me. I have to be kind to myself. I have those moments where I still have that negative Nancy in my head, talking all of the crap going around. But it really does come down, for me to be kind to others, I need to also be kind to myself as well. So those are my values. And, as I said, belief systems really started coming down to values. Now, as I said to you, the other thing that really did change and was the reality of it. And I really dove deep into the law of attraction, and you know really allowing that, what you set your attentions to, what you visualize, you can start to manifest. But one of the key things that people don't actually talk about is how you get it to become reality. And the key fundamental part that is missing is the action. And it is making sure that we are doing aligned action. So when we have our dream, when we have our action, we actually then make it become a reality. And that is a huge thing for me, is because whatever I want to actually happen, to come into reality, I have to put action into motion. And a lot of people really can get this sort of a little bit confused, just thinking, oh, well, if I just do this and I just do that, and it's going to become reality. Well, that's not always the truth, because what happens is that it has to be aligned action. So if I'm going to say that I want to have a 8-figure, big, huge business, 7, 8 figures, whatever I want to dream, you know, figure for my business. The thing is that if I'm going to show up inauthentic, that action is not real. So what I need to do is to show up and be authentic to myself. I need to show up and be vulnerable. I need to actually make sure that I am aligned in that action I'm taking, so that that dream can then become reality. So it's really, really essential that people do understand that we need to take action. We can't just sit there and dream and think that it's going to be able to become reality. We need to take action on it as well. Now, the bit of guts, this is where the hard work comes in, because a lot of the times is that if we're not happy with where we are in our life right now, the fact is that we need to make a change. And a lot of the times is that it comes down to our own actions that we've taken. It could be our own beliefs that we've had, and we need to change that. And that is where the hard work, the guts, and everything like that you need to put into it, that actually comes into play. It is not easy to change your life. And it is always something that I continue to work on every single day. It is something that I get up and I go, Christine, you need to continue to show up. Christine, you need to continue to show up. You need to continue to show up. There was always going to be things that I get triggered by, that I need to go and do work with. I'm a really big believer that there's a lot of inner work that we need to do. We need to release a lot of emotions that come out of us. We need to release a lot of other things that get built up inside of us. And one of the big things that I've actually done is about forgiveness, because it's not about saying what something has happened to you is right. It's about allowing the forgiveness to come in, because you can forgive yourself. You can forgive the part that you played into it. But most of all is that forgiveness turns into love. It turns into self-love. It turns into love for other people. It allows that kindness to come in, and you get rewarded so much more. When we're holding on to something, it stops us from receiving anything else. So I really encourage anybody who is going through any change to talk about forgiveness. There's an amazing book by Gabby Bernstein, and it's all about forgiveness. Go and check that one out, because I highly do recommend that. So just definitely go and have a look. It's all around about judgment, and I think it's called The Judgment Detox. Go and check that one out. It is an incredible book. And it does dive into forgiveness as well. I really use the process of radical forgiveness. And for me, it allows me to take me on a journey where I sit in what I call the victim mode. So the poor me, why me, this always happens to me. And then I actually start to change the story, and I look at it in one of the beautiful lessons that I've learned. And a lot of people will go, well, how can you see it as a beautiful life lesson? Because for me, I wouldn't be where I am right now. I wouldn't be creating the beautiful life that I have. I wouldn't be creating the business of my dreams if I hadn't let go. because I am so grateful for everything that has happened in my life. I am so grateful for the illness. I am so grateful for filing for bankruptcy. I'm so grateful for having to sleep on my parents' couch. I'm so grateful for being in a toxic relationship because it has learned me to be so grateful for what I have right now. I have a roof over my head. I get to wake up in a bed. I get to be surrounded by people who I love and adore, and they love and adore me. I get to work with incredible people all around the world. Now, without all of that, I may not be where I am today. So I am forever grateful for all of those lessons that have come my way. So I just wanted you just to sort of hear a little bit more and actually really start to take the time and digest it. And if you want to work with somebody, if you want to work with somebody who has gone through it all, who has done it, make sure you reach out to me. Let's have a chat. Let's talk about how I can work with you because I work one to one with all of my clients and I can help you on just taking you through a beautiful journey so that you can go from your state where you are right now, okay, to really be your empowered best. And it is a beautiful journey that we will actually go through. So I just wanted to share a little bit of insight, a little bit of wisdom with you today. And I really hope that you value this. I'd love for you to leave a comment below. Let me know on which part really resonates with you, whether or not it's the belief system, whether or not it's the reality, or whether or not you need to have that little bit of guts within inside of you to actually make a change. But let's find out what really has resonated in this video with you. Now, if you want something else, if you want me to dive into another particular topic, please comment below, reach out to us, send us an email. All of the links are below. And we absolutely love having you here. And thank you so much for joining us here on this episode of the Corporate Escapist TV show and podcast. Remember to live life to the fullest every single day. Love and light to you all.